sorry, I was just doing the
Like
broadcast.
you introduce it, and then we'll do some like banter, and then once we get into our countdown, then I'll start. Okay?
Sure. All right, I'm gonna do a pause and then I'll start in the intro.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Small State Podcast. We've got another kind of different episode this week where we're going to start talking about some of our favorite places. My name's Beth Feldner. I'm recording from Minot, North Dakota.
And I'm Rachel Pishtek, and I'm in Fargo.
And we've had another crazy busy week, but it also includes, it's been nuts, but it also includes, we've been scheduling a lot of different guests. So we'll be back to the regular guest schedule next week. We'll give you guys a preview later or early next week to let you guys kind of know who's going to be on the podcast, and we'll get back to regular programming after the week.
But I'm really excited about this, and not to sound like super unprofessional or anything, but we kind of came up with this idea on the fly, but I think it's going to be super fun, and it'll promote tourism in North Dakota, hopefully, and then maybe they can give us a 10% check of some sort. I mean, we're not working commission or anything, but maybe they could like.
Well, I mean, we do make the big bucks putting out those podcasts.
We do. 6 figures for sure.
I don't know about you, Rach, but like, these last 2 weeks have been insane.
Yeah. I mean, with like, so these last couple of weeks, one of my best friends in the whole wide world is getting married in 2 days. Well, yeah, on Saturday. Sorry, we're recording this early if you're listening to this on Saturday. I'm walking down the aisle as a bridesmaid as we speak. And I've had a lot of involvement in her wedding, and I'm so excited about it. So that's going on. And last week, if you listened, we had Giving Hearts Day at my office, and that was a lot of fun. We raised more than anticipated. So if you contributed based on your listenership, thank you so much. I sent out thank you emails to everybody and thank you notes in the mail. So if you did contribute to my office, thank you so much. If you want to contribute to my office now, in retrospect, my website for donations is www.nlsab.com/donate. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. What's been going on with you, Beth?
Well, last week we announced our rock acts, or I'm sorry, not our rock acts. Now I'm going to make it real.
Country.
What?
Right? Country, right?
Yeah, we did country. Sorry. Country acts, our country show pass acts at the state fair. And we announced those on Monday, and then we went on sale on Friday. So it's just been a crazy. Last week was really crazy, and this weekend, Clay and I just kind of took the opportunity to get our lives together, like deep clean our house a little bit and kind of catch up on some stuff. Because then this week, I don't know, it's just, I feel like I've been running my butt off doing things. And then next week, I'm going to, that was my cat.
Kevin, my psycho nephew.
He's running around. Next week, I'm in San Antonio for an fair marketing conference. So it just never stops, you guys. But
I'm so jealous. That's going to be so fun. I love Texas.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I know I have to bring my podcast microphone with us because it sounds like we'll have Kevin. Sounds like we'll have a couple.
We're not interviewing Kevin.
We're not.
That was hilarious. It sounds like we'll have Kevin.
He just keeps dancing around. And we'll have a couple of guests going on next week. So I'll be setting up a little recording studio from San Antonio. But all in a day's work, you guys. That's how we make our money, is podcasting, obviously.
Sarcasm. Give us money if you ever see us on the street.
Yeah, maybe we should have a donation page. I kind of like that strategy better.
A Patreon?
Well, we could do something. I'll have to talk about that maybe off air.
Maybe in a couple years. Yeah.
I don't even know how many people are listening. We probably have like 4 people who are listening.
Whoa. This is not the Kevin episode. Shut up, cat.
He's sauntering off now.
Okay, so let's get into it. So this week we are going to be doing we each picked our top 5 favorite places to go, to be, to exist, to eat, whatever, in North Dakota. And so, yeah, we each made a list of 5. So we're going to be going back and forth from 5 to 1. And I'm pumped because obviously we both live in North Dakota. We grew up here. We still live here. And we're from 2 different sides of the state. I mean, I think there's a little bit of, not necessarily overlap, but we're not super regional. I guess I kind of am, but we're not super duper regional.
No.
So it'll be a cool, like, mix of different places that you probably haven't heard of. Maybe. I don't know.
And to help
Maybe
you
not.
plan your trip to North Dakota.
Yeah.
For all our
So, yeah. So I'm going to start. My number 5 place is Maddock, North Dakota. You might wonder, where is that and why did you pick that? Well, Maddock is about a half an hour away from Devil's Lake in the opposite direction of me, Lakota. And I love it so much because I have so many good, kind-hearted friends that live there. And when I say that, I mean there are people that live there in their early to mid-20s. And it's so fun because there's such like a young entrepreneurial spirit that exists in Maddock, because a lot of them have gone off to college or went and did like their trade school or whatever, or went away for a few years and then came back to farm or open businesses or work in area businesses or in the Lake region area. And it's so amazing. And it's always fun. It's like where I go in North Dakota to go on vacation and relax in the summer, which I mean, it's not like lakefront property or anything like that. I just have so many people there that I love and care about. So if you're looking for a fun time in North Dakota, a fun street dance or anything like that, go to Maddock.
Awesome. Maddock is pretty great. Okay, so my number 5. My number 5 is the Cole Harbor Bar and Restaurant, which is on Highway 83. It's pretty much the only thing in the town of Cole Harbor, and it is the epitome of a dive bar with some of the best food in the state, I think. And it is just such a fun place to visit. And I've only actually been there once. Clay and I actually went there for Valentine's Day, because we kind of forgot to plan anything and thought maybe we could get in there because it's a first come first service.
Yeah. Where is it at in reference to Minot?
Huh?
Where is it at in reference to Minot?
It's about half an hour south on Highway 83.
Cool.
Anybody who drives from Minot to Bismarck or has taken that drive has seen that. Has seen that restaurant on the side of the road. It's a bar that always looks pretty busy, but it is a restaurant. You can bring your kids in there. And it's just a lot of fun. We had the best food, and it's such a dive bar, but it's so fun and like homey. We sat at the bar and we talked to the bartenders all night, and it was an absolute blast, and I highly recommend it. So check that out.
What did you eat there?
I had a ribeye and Clay had prime rib.
Yum. Amazing. Okay, so my number 4 place is someplace that's actually, looking back at my list, it should probably be a little bit higher, based on the sentimental value of this place to me, and it's called, what are all these sounds? Hello?
Hello?
What's happening?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, but like I hear like tons of like banging and stuff.
I was just closing the door. That means that my microphone isn't working at all because I muted it.
Oh, shit.
God damn it.
Well, let's just keep going. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, but I'm coming through the computer. So then why the fuck do I even have a microphone? Oh my god. Okay.
Beth, it's only one episode. It's okay.
It's fine. It's annoying.
Do you want to look at your settings?
I did. It's supposed to be on my Yeti.
Weird.
Possibly.
That's really strange.
I'm so annoyed. Yeah, it says Yeti stereo microphone, USB. Okay, what about now? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, what about now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's not working. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, not doing it on there anymore.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm upset about it, but I would really like to get done with this thing.
Okay. So let me start over with my number 4. I'll give a break.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, my number 4 place, looking back at my list, should probably be a little bit higher, based on sentimental value and stuff like that. But I chose Lemitza, North Dakota, which is home to Catherine's Catholic Church, which was built by Czechoslovakian, specifically Bohemian immigrants in Walsh County. And this is important to me because all of my dad's side of my family is 100% Czech. And so I grew up with a lot of Czech traditions, Czech food. My grandma Arlene, who is my best friend in the whole wide world, grew up teaching me how to make kolaches and plum dumplings and borscht sausages and all these different fun treats. I'm literally looking at a picture of her right now. I miss her so much. She's alive. She's just lives in Minot. But so yeah, Lemitza is really important to me because there's been a lot of like family funerals and weddings and dances and anniversary parties there. It's really close to Lankin, North Dakota, which is in that nook of eastern Walsh County. So I like southeastern Walsh County, and I love it so much. And not only isn't important to me based on my family, but it's an extremely beautiful church. It's made out of stone, and it was literally built by like my dad's ancestors, pretty much. So not even ancestors, like great grandfather and like a couple generations ago. So it's really cool and it's really important to me. And I honestly, there are a lot of these little beautiful Czech Catholic churches all around the countryside in Walsh County, and I highly suggest that people look them up because they're gorgeous and are a labor of love from these faithful Europeans that immigrated here.
Cool. I've never been there.
Yeah, it's super beautiful. Like I love it so much. If it was less in the middle of nowhere and not a Catholic church, I'd probably get married there someday. My dad said that I could I'm Lutheran, and my dad said, well, you could probably just do it, but I feel like that's weird.
Well,
also, there's like one bathroom, so
yeah, that would be hard. I know that though you can rent churches and then a pastor can come in. I guess Lutherans let people do that, but
yeah, I don't know. The Catholics have like some pretty strict rules, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah.
So you have such good stories with all of yours, and mine are so short in comparison.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm probably taking up a really long time.
No, that's okay. It's good to have stories. That's what nursing is kind of built on.
It's true.
So my number 4 is kind of a broad one, but I just picked Fargo as my number 4 favorite place. Truly, until maybe a couple years ago when I started dating my now husband, I really didn't care for Fargo. I just always got lost because I didn't know how to get around, and I just always kind of just drove through it, and I didn't spend a lot of time in Fargo, and I didn't care for it at all. But now we have so many friends who live there. There's always new and exciting restaurants.
Let it be known that I was best friend before she met her husband, and I've lived in Fargo-Moorhead for going on 6 years. So this is news to me.
Also, let it be known that we didn't hang out that much in college. Like, we were kind of in our own college.
I went to Jamestown at least twice. I mean, and you did
our freshman year. Oh,
no.
Man. We're not going to fight about Fargo.
Sorry. We're not actually fighting.
We're not. But I feel like I really started to appreciate it recently as we started to build our lives here in Minot. There's just something about Fargo that feels, I don't know, it is a metropolis for the state. And if you've ever visited North Dakota, the one place you probably visited was Fargo. It's a beautiful city. They've done their downtown right. Their neighborhoods are so nice. It's a beautiful city, and it's a fun place for us to go for the weekend because we have so many friends. It's like a little mini vacation every time we go there. So
yeah.
Shouts out Fargo.
Fargo's the best. My number 3 is located in Walhalla, North Dakota, which is up very northeast near the Canadian border, specifically in the Pembina Gorge. And the specific, even more specific than that, is Frostfire, which is a ski resort. Well, if you're not from North Dakota and you're hearing this, there's a ski resort in Fargo, or not in Fargo, in North Dakota. Are you crazy? Yeah, we got some pretty decent hills up there, people. It's super beautiful. We posted a picture of it on our Instagram, so go take a look if you've never seen it or been there before. Google image it, Google map it. It's so gorgeous. Go visit Walhalla. Obviously, if you like skiing, go in the wintertime, but I highly suggest the summer. There's great hiking trails for like if you ride horses or bikes. And then Frostfire, this resort, has a musical every single summer, and it's like very high quality musicals. And my piano teacher and her husband, my piano teacher Amy Jo Pockert, and her husband David produce and direct these musicals, and they're so talented, and they get these really high caliber actors and actresses to typically from the UND theater community and Grand Forks theater community, but people come from all over the country and all over the state and region, the Twin Cities, to perform. And it's so beautifully done. And you're outside, but enclosed. Like if it's raining, they won't cancel the show because you've got a roof over your head. But on the wings, you can see like nature, and it's just so beautiful, and in a heart of a place that you never would know existed unless you've been there. So I highly suggest Frostfire. And Walhalla itself is a really beautiful and cool town too.
Awesome.
Have you ever been there?
No.
It's cool. You should go.
I have summer theater here for my musicals here in Minot, and then we have a ski resort just north of us. So yeah, there's more in North Dakota than you'd think, folks. Mm-hmm. So my number 3 is it's sort of a tie between a lot of different places, but I would say that my number 3 is Kenmare Golf Course, the Stanley Golf Course, which I think is called Prairie Winds now. I know they changed their name when I was like a junior in high school. The Ray Golf Course, the Red Mike Golf Course, Minot Air Force Base Golf Course, and Wildwood Golf Course, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many small golf courses in North Dakota. We have the most golf courses per capita of any state, and so many memories of my and of small towns that I visited are on their golf courses. We have some of the prettiest 9-hole golf courses you'll ever see, and some of the most challenging 18-hole golf courses that you can find. It's really, you could take a golf vacation all the way through the state. I make Clay play these little 9-hole golf courses that he's not used to playing as often as I can. And I just feel really blessed to have grown up in a state where, although our golf season is a lot shorter than other states, these small towns really care about their golf courses. They put a lot of work into them to make sure they're nice. And there's so many of them that don't have manned clubhouses. So if you're not a golfer, you might kind of glaze over this part. But for the clubhouse in a lot of small towns, they just get usually some retired women to come and man the bar during men's night. And a lot of other times there's nobody in there at all. In fact, in McHenry, North Dakota, they have a 9-hole golf course, and they have a trailer straight out of the 60s that has an open door all the time. And you just go in and pay for your 9 holes. I think it's like $6 or $7 last time I was there.
That's hilarious.
And it's a beautiful course. It's so well maintained, and it's so pretty. So, you know, my grandpa got me into golf by golfing the McHenry Golf Course and golfing in Devil's Lake, and then in Lakota when they got their course. And the state, I got to experience all of these small towns through their golf courses. So those are my favorite places. Number 3.
That's such a good one. Good one.
Thanks.
Whoa, I'm echoing.
I'll edit it out. Don't stress.
Okay. It's just really freaking me out that I can like really loudly. You have headphones in?
No, because they weren't working. Do you want me to try again? Let me try it.
Yeah, because it's echoing so loud and I can't even concentrate.
You're getting reverb?
Yeah. Okay. Are they in now? Can you hear me though?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Sorry that shit keeps happening.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I'll edit it together.
Okay.
Oh,
My number, what?
sorry. I just realized I'm going to have to do it tonight because I have to be at the Air Force Base tomorrow morning.
Shoot. Okay. I'll hurry up.
No, you're good.
So my number 2 is kind of a new place for me. I guess I really discovered this place this last summer. I grew up going to the lakes of Minnesota with my mom's side of my family because my mom is originally from Mahnomen, Minnesota. You've probably heard of it in commercials for the Shooting Star Casino. So I grew up in northwestern Minnesota just as much as I grew up in North Dakota. So that's a really special place to my heart. And my family decided to discontinue the tradition of going to the lakes out there, and both of my grandparents on that side of my family have passed away, and I have not an uncle that lived there, but they're kind of all over the place these days, traveling and doing cool retirement stuff. So I don't get there as much as I would like to, but since then my parents have purchased a camper and they are loving it. And one of my favorite spots, and my mom laughs at me because I'm such a North Dakota girl, because I like to see the horizon all the time. Like even living in the city in Fargo, I live on the like border going into West Fargo, so I still have a lot of unchanged land. Like I look out at a dog park and a field basically. Like it looks like a plot of like CRP, so that's pretty funny. But I love seeing the horizon, and so one of my favorite places to be, and I can see this being a place for the next couple of years, is Graham's Island in Devil's Lake. And I grew up, I think I went there a couple times. Devil's Lake is such a huge lake, and there are so many different recreation areas that I never grew up going to like one single place as far as like when it came to camping or if I went to a field trip or anything like that. But Graham's Island is so nice and so well taken care of, and they've got a beautiful walking path, beautiful beach. You can get right up to the water. And Devil's Lake is kind of a dangerous lake because so much of it is because so much of the lake exists because of unintentional flooding. In Northeast North Dakota, we have a major flooding problem, one, because of precipitation, and two, because our water table is a mess. So we naturally have like damp soil. And so it's not a very good lake for recreation, and we can't really get close to it because usually there's a huge cliff drop off. But it looks like how a beach is naturally supposed to look, and you can get right up next to the water. And I just have good memories there with my aunt and uncle this last summer, and my mom and dad, and my puppy Maggie. And it's a really fun place if you love camping, if you love fishing, just being outdoors, picking June berries, all of that stuff. Go to Graham's Island. It's a skate park, I believe, in North Dakota. I think. It's beautiful, and you should go there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, are you okay?
Nope. It's just sorry. Edit it out. Oh God, so bad. Okay. So my number 2 is actually very close to your number 2 as well. And mine is the Stump Lake campground near Lakota, which is sort of, and I don't feel like I visit there enough anymore, but when I was growing up, we didn't camp very much. With 5 under 7, it's just hard to take us anywhere. So we didn't go a lot of different places. But a few different times we went to Stump Lake to camp. Well, we went to basketball camp at Lakota Elementary School. And it was so fun because my mom would take us. My dad would have to stay for work, and she would take us, and we would take tents. And we had a little teardrop camper that we took. And sorry, I'll have to edit that yawn out too. We would go to the Lakota Library, which I will talk about because hint, hint, is my number one. And we'd get all these books and we would go down to Stump Lake and read. And to be honest, you know why I think it's my favorite place? Trees. North Dakota, not as many trees, not as many trees as other places in the world. But at Stump Lake, there were trees everywhere. And you just felt like you were in a different country, I swear to goodness, because the trees and there were frogs and there was water and it was so different from home. It was just this beautiful little oasis where we would go camp. So
That's so interesting.
Why do you say that?
Because that's a place that I definitely took for granted because I was there all the time.
Right.
Like we went there for school like 5 times a year at least. And on top of that, like people's families were camping there or like had campers or whatever there or went fishing.
Yeah.
And there was a roller skating rink there. So literally like so much of my childhood was at Stump Lake. So it was just like, and I went to camps at Stump Lake. Like they had a art camp there. Like, so it's just some place that I take for granted. So it's just really weird hearing, not weird, but like interesting and nice to hear that perspective because it's just another like place to me, but it is beautiful and it is amazing and it's very well kept by Nelson County.
Well, that's
so I have like a lot of pride in that.
They've made a ton of updates too that I haven't gotten to see. I haven't been there for a while, but there's so much of that area and really of where you grew up that to me is nostalgia because it was where we vacationed.
Yeah.
Was Lakota. So then like Stump Lake for me, like my great grandpa Arvid and his wife Betty, my great grandma, would take us there to the Stump Lake Cafe, and they would get us the
yes, the best. That food is great.
Yeah, and it was just.
Still, I have no idea. I haven't been there in like 5 years.
They moved the restaurant. It's a whole new building now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I haven't been there since they moved.
Me
Sorry,
either.
I have no idea. If you go there and it's bad, don't blame me. I'm sure it's great.
I'm sure it's good. But there's just, and like my great great uncle Merlin and his wife Ruby used to have an RV that they would park down there. And there's just so much, we just went down there to see family. And so going to Stump Lake is always going to be very nostalgic for me. So
that's amazing.
And that playground, that's so dangerous. It was so dangerous.
Oh, the playground is prime. They have
it's so good.
Like basically, okay, so here's the thing about playgrounds. Obviously, we've experienced a lot of them. But the Stump Lake one had like some sort of playground facility for each age group. Like they have the little kid stuff. They have like 4th and 5th grade. And then they had like 6th grade through like high school. Because then they had like these army forts. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they had it was all
like obstacle. Yeah, I wonder if they're still there.
They had to take a lot of them down. I know because they just get old. It's hard to upkeep those wood
and
things.
They were even when they were like up, they were super dangerous. I didn't know anybody who ever got hurt on them, which is insane because we were there all the time. But no, they had these great like fort things. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay. They had like a full fort with a wall and 2 towers that was like across the street. And then they had a fort that was just one high post. And I don't know, it was so fun. And then, like I said, there was 5 of us kids under 7 years old. So as we got older, we all would play with each other. And there was like a log cabin with like a little fence. Yeah, it was great.
A really great jungle gym, the first merry-go-round I ever remember going on.
Oh, that thing was terrifying. For a while, they had a barrel that you could run on.
Yeah, like a hamster wheel.
Yep, and then they had the swings where you all swung to the middle. Oh, God, it was great.
Yeah, I love those. One time when I was doing a vacation Bible school in Cooperstown, we had a kid that climbed all the way up to the top of those. And then we said, "Get down, kid." And he got really angry, threw a tantrum, climbed down, and crawled on his hands and knees back to Trinity Lutheran Church of Cooperstown.
Oh, boy.
So that's what I think of. And this happened like 2 years ago. So that's what I think of every time I see one of those dome swing sets, which are a staple. Are they a staple everywhere, or are they just a staple like in North Dakota? That can't be true.
I only know of one. Honestly, I only know of one.
Seriously?
I only know of
There's
the Stump
so
Lake
many.
one.
Oh my gosh, Stump Lake. Look, my elementary school had one. There's one in Cooperstown. There's one at Red Willow. No, Red Willow has regular swings.
Well, I guess if your
Um,
elementary school had one, technically I had one.
Fair, yeah, but I don't know if we were like swinging. Like, I don't know if you would have ever swung there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So that brings me to my number one, which is Red Willow, located just north of Binford, North Dakota. And this is the third time in a row that we've talked about it. But it is so great. Talk about an oasis. Like, Stump Lake is cool, but like Red Willow, you literally, okay, so you go south of Pekin on Highway 1. And then it's literally, you get to this one spot. There's like this huge gorge. The Cheyenne River comes through. Also, can we talk about the Cheyenne River one episode? Is there any spot in North Dakota that thing doesn't go through? Like, every town has the Cheyenne River, I feel like. Anyway, so you go over and there's the Cheyenne River and you're in this huge valley and it's just beautiful. You can see for miles and miles and miles. Like, literally, I remember the first time ever going to Red Willow and seeing that and being like, holy, where am I? And so that's when like the scenic beauty, like hills of McHenry is what we used to call them, like these, like Griggs County, like that's where you see all of these hills. And so you get to Red Willow, obviously tons of trees, a lake, an amazing resort with a lot of history. And the matriarch, Vernice Haynes, who has since passed, who ran that place until she was in literally like a hover round thing, whatever those are called, motorized scooter. I remember the last time I saw her, it was her handing me a root beer float, and she was in her motorized scooter.
I just
like the sweetest woman
so my
ever.
side story. My mother was listening to this one where we talked to Clay, and that's the time we first talked about Red Willow, I believe. And she was fact checking me on some of the stuff and realized that I'm distantly related to Vernice somehow, or someone married somebody. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's North Dakota for you.
Yeah. No, it's just a beautiful place. And I grew up going to softball tournaments at the resort, but really a very, very special place to me in my life is Red Willow Bible Camp. I grew up going there from the time I was in second grade to working there up until the summer after my senior year of college. That's where I feel like I became a Christian. I met lifelong friends. I have started to like being outside. It's just such a beautiful place with a lot of history and a lot of great people. And I encourage everybody, if you're ever in that area, just drive around and look around. And my favorite thing about it is the lake is kind of like in a bowl. And we would walk down this big hill every night at the end of camp. And we'd go down and have a campfire and we'd watch the sunset over the lake. And then there are hills surrounding us. And on one of the hills, we had a cross hill, like in the Bible. There were 3 crosses on this hill. And every week, we would walk on Thursday night up to Cross Hill. And that was our time to reflect on the week. That was our time to reflect on our faith and like pray and do whatever we wanted. But when I think of Red Willow, I think of those sunsets. Obviously, the purple, the pink, the orange, whatever the night was like. And then we'd always jump in the lake, like to make the kids laugh. The Thursday night, we'd have this rockin' campfire with tons of major jams that we'd play on the guitar and scream and sing, and it carried across the lake. And then we always would do a skit every night. And on Thursday nights, the night before all the kids left, all the counselors would end up jumping in the lake. And so that was just like a fun little tradition we had. So please check it out. Check out their website. Support the resort. Support the camp if you're into that type of stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, so that's my number one. And can I just give my honorable mention really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my honorable mention is the Gladstone Inn in Jamestown, North Dakota, for 2 reasons. One, their rooms there are freaking great. Like, they're not great in the sense, okay, that sounds horrible. They're great, but they're great because they have these crazy suites that have themes. Like, can you think of some of them? There's one that's like the ocean. A jungle one, I think we stayed in one time, Beth.
There's a fishing one. There's a romantic themed one we stayed in, and there's a golf one.
Yeah, like there's definitely a NASCAR one. I remember that one. So one, the rooms are cool. Two, that's where we grew up going to the Northern Lights SAD conference. And it was a ton of fun. We would tear up Jamestown in the nicest way possible, meaning that we felt we were cool because we went to Walmart at 11:59 and bought like a Nerf gun. We were tame. We still are tame people. But yeah, the Gladstone Inn in Jamestown. If you're ever driving through Jamestown, which if you live in North Dakota, you probably are at some point, and you want to stay overnight, go to the Gladstone Inn, get a suite. It'll be cool.
Awesome. So many late nights spent at the Gladstone Inn.
So many memories.
So many memories. Okay, so my number one is from Rachel's hometown, the Lakota Public Library. Seriously, this is where I learned to love books. This is the first place I checked out a Lemony Snicket book. The first place I found Harry Potter. The first time I read a classic. I read Little Women. That was from the Lakota Library. And a lot of it stemmed from the fact that we would spend weeks at my grandparents' farm in Talna in the summer, because why spend it in Ray in town when we could be running around the farm? And we would go in, and the librarian there, who's lovely, who I miss and wish I could see all the time. We were writing letters back and forth for a little while when I sent her my wedding invitation. She's great. But she would let us check out as many books as we wanted for as long as we wanted, because she loved us. So we got to break all the rules, and we would get all the books and just read them and bring them all the way back to Ray. And that's how I fell in love with books. And that's where I would take my books to Stump Lake and read them. I would just sit and read books. And I read everything. I read classics and kid books. I read new books. I read Sweet Valley High books. I like anything you could think of, I read there. It was so fun.
So that's my number one. Like Dr. I love it.
It's great. It was so great. It makes me want to like sit down and read now, just thinking about it. It makes me feel guilty because I haven't read for pleasure in like weeks. But
reading is great. I can agree. The Lakota Library, it was and is great. They currently just got a ton of money to redo it. I don't know if you knew this, Beth.
I did. I knew that Jerry, the old librarian, retired, and they got a new librarian who's great as far as I can tell, but she's not Jerry, so
yeah, no one will ever be Jerry Wagness.
She won't.
Literally. I want you guys, I wish she had Instagram, but like just picture, I've always thought that she kind of looks like Angela Lansbury.
She's so beautiful and
she is so sweet and smart, and like she made every little kid love reading, I feel like. She was so kind and amazing, and I love her so much.
She's great. And I was just talking to her with my mom because I was like, her voice is so interesting. I always remember her voice.
Yeah,
and it's because she has serious asthma that always affected the way she spoke. But it's just like, without knowing that, I just thought she was like this mythical, wonderful lady, this perfect
literally
character.
Mythical is a perfect way of describing her. Literally, you guys picture Angela Lansbury. Like that is Jerry Wagness with like brown hair.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to plugs.
Okay. I'll start with mine. So my plug this week is, one, the newest episode of the Mindy Project came out on Valentine's Day. I haven't watched it yet. But two, we at my office, Northern Lights Youth Services, which sponsors the SAD program, Students Against Destructive Decisions, in the Dakotas and Minnesota, we are currently looking for motivated young people in grades 9 through 11 to participate on our Northern Lights Advisory Board, which basically is the head and shoulders of Northern Lights SAD. Like, you're basically like a tri-state officer. You get tons of really cool leadership opportunities. You get to work with very important offices and agencies in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. And you learn a lot of really great skills, event planning, nonprofit development of programming, I could name tons. It's basically like an internship, and you have lots of opportunities. Beth and I, as well as a lot of our guests that we've had so far, have been members of the NLab, is what we call it for short, in the past. So if you know somebody in 9th or 10th grade in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Minnesota that would be interested, please send them my way. You can go to nlsad.com/resources to learn more, or you can email me, Rachel, RACHAEL, @nlsad.com, and we can chat about it. Beth? Hello?
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry, I had myself muted because I was yawning. Yes, NLab is definitely something everybody should check out. It's a great way to get some leadership and some teamwork skills in as a high schooler. What an awesome program. It's how I met so many of my lifelong friends. So I kind of have a really similar plug this week because we are hiring a marketing intern at the North Dakota State Fair. When I say marketing, it really devalues what you'll be doing down to one sort of subject, because truly the interns in our office get a little bit of everything, including running special events during the fair, helping out with things like the ranch rodeo and the horse and pony pulls, working with us to distribute materials across the state, potentially doing some press, taking pictures. There's so much I can't even begin to truly list in a complete way exactly how much you can get involved with. But we're looking for somebody who can live in Minot for the summer, can start as soon as possible with your college schedule, has good organizational skills, and what actually really helps is if you have customer service experience. So if you've been a waitress or a bank teller or someone, that really helps because we do a lot of helping out at the window in our office. So you can check out those applications at ndstatefair.com. You'll find a little link at the bottom for employment, and you can find the application there. Or you can find me on Facebook at Beth K. Ryan or Elizabeth Ryan Feldner, and just ask me about it, and I'll send you the info. Love to work with you. I'm guessing. Yeah. I mean, whoever's listening.
Yeah.
You have good taste in podcasts, so.
Yeah, obviously. Cool.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think that's all we have to talk about today. Like I said at the top of the episode, we're in the process of scheduling a bunch of new guests to kind of come with a second wave of guests based on recommendations from our first wave. So we might actually be switching to season 2. I don't think we've decided that yet, but just keep that subscription on to our podcast on your podcast app, and you'll continue to be updated every Friday. Sometime, hopefully during the day on Friday, we will be uploading podcasts regularly.
Yeah, and give us a rating or a review if it's good.
Definitely.
No, go ahead.
No, apparently they're important, ratings and reviews. We definitely have been doing this podcast and not quite, I don't know, I have no idea how many people are listening. I should probably look into that.
Yeah,
iTunes
so if you're
listening,
if you're listening, tell us, please. I've gotten a lot of good comments from people, like I say on the street, but I mean like when talking to my friends.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a couple of messages from on the Facebook page, which reminds me, you should find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all under Small State Podcast or Small State ND. If you type in Small State Podcast, we're everywhere. We're going to pop up. And we'll have our little buffalo image, and that's how you will know it's us.
Definitely. All right. Do you have anything else to add, Rach?
Nope.
Sweet. Thanks for tuning into the Small State Podcast. Check in next Friday to see who we talk to. Have a good week, you guys.
Bye.